Hello, my gardening friend. Today we are talking about okra, and this is the size that it needs to be when you pick it, but more on that later. Let's get right into everything that you need to know about okra. Whether you call it lady's fingers, gumbo, or by its botanical name, Abelmoschus esculentus, okra is a powerhouse plant with a rich history, impressive nutrition, and so many uses in the garden and the kitchen. Today I'll show you everything you need to know to grow okra organically from seed to harvest, including planting tips, climate zones, harvesting, cooking ideas, and how I preserve it for the off-season. So let's get to it. Okra is a tropical heat-loving crop that originated in Africa, where it's been grown for thousands of years. It traveled through Egypt, India, and the Middle East, eventually making its way to the Americas through trade routes. It thrives in hot, humid climates, and if you live in USDA zones 7 through 11, okra will absolutely love your garden. If you're in cooler zones, don't worry. You can still grow okra. Just wait until your soil is warm and your nights stay above 55 degrees. More on temperatures later. This little green pod is packed with goodness. Okra is rich in fiber, vitamin C, vitamin K, and antioxidants like cucurin, whatever that is. It's low in calories and has been linked to blood sugar control, heart health, and even digestive benefits thanks to its mucilaginous or slimy texture, which we'll talk about more later when we get into cooking. My go-to variety is the Clemson Spineless okra, a classic heirloom developed in the 1930s by Clemson University in South Carolina. As the name suggests, it's spineless, which makes harvesting it a lot more comfortable. It grows tall, sometimes up to 5 or 6 feet, and produces beautiful hibiscus-like flowers before setting pods. The pods are tender, ribbed, and perfect for slicing or pickling. Clemson Spineless is a dependable, high-yielding variety for southern and warm climate gardens. Okra loves warm soil. I plant my seeds directly in the garden after the last frost date once the soil temperature hits at least 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. In most regions, that's late spring or early summer. If you're in a shorter season, you can start your seeds indoors 3 to 4 weeks before your last frost and transplant them once the weather warms up. It's a good idea to soak your seeds overnight or at least a couple hours because their seed coat is tough. Plant them an inch deep, 12 to 18 inches apart, in rows that are 3 feet apart. Okra needs full sun and well-drained, fertile soil with a pH between 6.5 and 7.5. Add compost before planting and mulch around the base to retain moisture and suppress weeds. Okra is relatively low maintenance, but here's how I care for it organically. Water deeply once or twice a week. It's drought tolerant, but performs best with consistent moisture. I feed with a compost tea or fish emulsion every 2 to 3 weeks once the plants begin to flower. Pests to watch out for are aphids, flea beetles, and stink bugs. Neem oil or insecticidal soap can help, but I also interplant with basil and marigolds to deter pests naturally. Aphids can usually be knocked off just by giving them a good spray, especially under the leaves. Okra pods grow quickly. Once the plant starts producing, check it daily. Harvest when the pods are 2 to 4 inches long. Any longer and they can become fibrous and tough. And trust me, they're not as much fun to eat when they're bigger. Here's one that is a little past its prime. See how it doesn't really snap through? It's got all that fibrous stuff in there. It would be okay for cooking, but it's not near as good for eating raw. And you can see lots of seeds are starting to develop in there already. That tastes good though. Let's compare that to a nice tender one. So like I show you on this AI generated video, you don't really want them any longer than your fingers. I like to eat them raw, and I just pick them off the plant and munch them down. The shorter and smaller the better to eat them raw. You can use a sharp knife or garden snips to cut the pods cleanly from the stem. And wear gloves if you're not growing spineless. The tiny spines can irritate your skin. The more you harvest, the more the plant produces. It is a generous giver, but I would caution you to make sure you check it every day, because if you let the pods get too big, the plant will start putting energy into making the seeds, and once the seeds are made, it's a lot like cucumbers. The plant will decide that its work is done and won't produce anymore. So make sure you get them picked. Now let's talk about eating it. Okra is famous for its role in gumbo, where it acts as a natural thickener, but that's just the beginning. Slice and pan fry it with cornmeal for crispy okra bites. Add it to stir fries, soups, or curries. Roast it in the oven with olive oil and garlic. That cuts down the slime and boosts the flavor. And if you're wondering about the texture, roasting, grilling, or pickling are great ways to reduce the slimy feel some folks shy away from. If you've got more okra than you can eat, it's a good problem. Here's how to preserve your harvest. You can freeze it. You want to blanch the whole pods for 3 to 4 minutes, cool, and store in freezer bags. You can pickle it. Okra pickles are crunchy, tangy, and just amazing. You can dehydrate them, just slice and dry them. It makes a unique snack, or you can add them to soups that way. You can also ferment okra like cucumbers for probiotic pickles. A fun project for the homesteaders out there. Whether you're growing okra for its beauty, its bounty, or just the joy of organic gardening, this warm weather crop is worth a spot in your garden. Let me know in the comments if you've grown okra before and what your favorite variety or recipe is. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to give this video a like. So get out in your garden today and go grow.